drop time. I lived in a vampire's garage in New Orleans for about a month. It was fall of 2009. I was visiting New Orleans for the third time from Australia, which is where I grew up. Me and two of my friends rented this house in Mid-City, and we were going to stay here for a month. We were all also really big Anne Rice Vampire Chronicles fans. I had been part of an online Y2K Anne Rice vampire cult at this point for about 6 or 7 years. I believed in real vampires, and I was desperate to find them. So our first couple of days in the city, we went to Boutique de Vampire, the vampire shop where I would later work, to get our fangs made. It has been almost 20 years, and these things still look pretty good. And we made friends with the guy making the fangs, this guy named Maven. Now, Maven was part of the vampire community. Vampire with a Y, real vampires. The vampire community is diverse, it's large, it's been around since like the 1970s, and if you are a real vampire, you recognize each other. And Maven says to this day that he could see it in me, which is not surprising based on the things that had happened to me prior to coming to New Orleans. Memory loss, weird dreams, waking up with bruises on my body. It's a whole story. So we go to the after party, we go to Maven's house, we meet Father Sebastian, which is a whole nother story. But unfortunately, during our first week in New Orleans, one of my friends had what I can only describe as an alcohol-fueled psychotic break. It was precipitated by some issues that we had been having in our friendship prior to coming to New Orleans. Anyway, she gathered up all my possessions, threw them outside on the road, and said, "Get the fuck out." So I'm in New Orleans, not really knowing anyone, with nowhere to stay for a month. All of the hotels are fully booked because it's Halloween. But as I said, we had befriended Maven, and also Maven's roommate. I'm gonna call him Wolf Boy. Wolf Boy was a transient ex-con from Kansas who believed he was a werewolf, and he was trying to make homemade LSD in Maven's garage. I thought getting into a relationship with this person was the best idea I had ever had. It was not the best idea I had ever had. Anyway, with nowhere to go, I texted Wolf Boy and Maven said, "You can come live in my garage," which is exactly what I did. My mother was concerned, all my friends in Australia were concerned, my friends from the cult were concerned. If you're doing stuff that is concerning the cult that you're in, you're probably not making the best decisions. But I will say, for that month, I was perfectly safe. I had a roof over my head, I had meals. The vampire community really took care of me at a moment where I was really vulnerable and bad things could have happened to me. Maven and I are friends to this day. Wolf Boy and I, not so much. I don't really know what's going on with Wolf Boy, and I don't need to know. The vampire subculture has a lot of problems, and there are a lot of predators in that space. There are also a lot of really good people who are just trying to show up for each other and support each other and make sure people are safe, happy, and able to live authentically as themselves.